Our second example of using the object model requires a complete refresh of the DB classes file. So select it all and delete it and paste the snippet DB classes revision 1303_02. And this adds a new class CTable. Here it is. CTable, again, has some properties and two methods. The constructor method simply identifies the table name, and the variable this, you will have noticed, is a PHP keyword indicating this class. So the constructor method identifies the table name. The helper function getRecordCount defines an SQL count the ID as count ID from this table, because the constructor is getting a parameter table name. This count query is equal to the MySQL that's returned, the MySQL result that's returned. This record array is the array from this count query, and we return the record array, which is an associative array, with parameter count ID, which was the only field that we actually selected in our SQL statement. So we'll save that as our DB classes file. Control S will do that. We're not going to use the first example. We'll leave that intact for you to look back at. Close that one and open a new code pane and paste the example ODB example B and save it in the demo folder as ODB example B, making sure you save in the demo folder. And refresh the browser, the demo folder, and run ODB example B. And we'll see what we get from here from the code, exactly the same as we had in example A, underlined, the horizontal rule. Then we're going to declare a table name and use the new class CTable and create an instance of CTable called TableObject using that table name as the parameter. And then echo the number of records in table name, which is declared in this script, is TableObject getRecordCount. And notice the hyphen arrow is the object definition operator. We'll underline that with an HR horizontal rule, then do it again with tCompany. We'll declare a new instance of CTable with tCompany this time and print the number of records in the table name is the getRecordCount function of the TableObject instance of CTable. And that's why we got the new connection resource ID is 4, the number of records in tPerson is 25, the number of records in tCompany is 10. Click the back button to go back to the demo directory, close ODB, select all of the DB classes, and paste the third DB classes example, which creates a new class called CRecord. The other two remain the same, but CRecord takes two parameters into its construction method, the table name and a record ID. We've also added another class to the CTable class, another helper function to the CTable class called getAll. So it selects all records from the table name and returns the record array, which is all of the rows in the table. And our CRecord returns one row from a table as record ID. Save that with Control S, and in a new code pane load the third example, which is OODB example C, and save that into the demo folder. We have the same two examples as we had before, three examples. This time we have a demonstration of the CRecord class. We create a new instance of CRecord called PersonObject, and we set the variable person equal to the getRecord helper function of PersonObject, and then echo the data that's returned in the person array. We've also slightly modified our second example by getting a CTable and setting company equal to the getAll function of the company object that we created. And then from the previous example, we already had record count. So we've done a repeat structure here for repeating variable II while it's less than record count. find the ID of the company array with II and the associative parameter ID, and also find the company name and echo the company ID and the company name. Once again, looking at the browser, refresh the demo folder and find OODB example C, where we get then the list of companies with their ID numbers and their names. We select from tperson where ID is 5, and we print out or echo the result of the trim of person salutation space first name space last name. And in our helper function getRecord, we have actually had in here echo the SQL statement. As I said in the introduction, this only serves to demonstrate that PHP actually does have a full OO model, and the entire model is fully documented in the PHP documentation.